What's up, everyone? Eli here, back for a new stuff video. Quite a bit of different formats here. Some stuff that I'm excited about. Just a good lot of things in general. I got a cassette tape, bunch of CDs, couple DVDs, couple 7-inch vinyl records, a shirt. I got everything here. First, I'm going to talk about an order I placed with the band Ruin. If you've watched many of my videos, you probably know I'm a huge Ruin fan. Ruin are a death metal band out of the LA area, California. Out of all the newer crop of death metal bands, Ruin are easily one of my favorites in the last 10, 15 years. I try to get everything they put out. I don't have, sometimes I miss some of it. I don't have all of it. I have a good lot of it, maybe most. But yeah, man. Grimy, old school, primal death metal of the nastiest order. Look into it if you haven't. I got this cool long sleeve directly from the band. It's kind of dark. Anyways. It's cool. Just go look at it online. I got this tape edition of one of the releases that some label just recently put out. Came in this cool bag. And so this was released on CD like a year or two ago. It's Plague Transmissions Volume 1. So it's a compilation. Very dark cover art there. Hard to see. Came out on a label I'm not super familiar with. Actually, not at all familiar with. And it's a label called Barbaric Brutality. And they did a bang up job. Quality work here. Pro tape, pro printed. Yeah, man. Stoked to finally have this. Like I said, it's been out for probably 2 years on CD, and I just never ended up getting it. I prefer to get all my Ruin stuff on cassette, just because that's how I started, and I like to keep it I've tried to keep it all cassette, but cool lyrics. With this order, I've gotten my first Ruin CD, just because this was released on cassette earlier this year, and it sold out, and I didn't get it in time, so... But I'd rather have it in whatever format than, not. This is the Ruin Rotting Grave Split. Grave Slaughter. Rotting Grave are a death metal band out of Mexico. Haven't heard them, but I've heard good things. Pretty nice CD. This was put out by Dark Recollections out of, out of Mexico, right? And with that, they sent me a ton of propaganda. Some cool stickers, some really cool stickers, actually. I have a lot of different Ruin stickers, and I don't have that one right there. That one's sick. I also don't have this one. The fucking, not Jeffrey Dahmer, what's his name? Ted Bundy. It's fucking sweet. Death metal cult. Oh shit. Oh man, that is gnarly. Oh my god. You are welcome. Oh boy. Yeah. That just happened. I love all these flyers and shit that they make. It's fucking awesome. We're still going. I'm not done yet. Check this one out with the Iceman. Can't remember his name. It's badass. And a couple of Vrenth stickers. One of the guys from Ruin is in a band called Vrenth. At least one of them. I don't know if there's more, but Vrenth, V-R-E-N-T-H. They put out a pretty good demo a couple years back, and they got a full length coming pretty soon. Big Vrenth sticker. So yeah, man, awesome Awesome stuff. Super, I'm still stoked on all that. I love Ruin. I'm still devouring all those new tunes. I guess I'll get to the CDs now. I got a nice stack, kind of a varied stack too, which I think you've probably come to expect from me. One of these is a 2020 release. I guess we'll start with that. We have Undeath with Lesions of a Different Kind. Death metal out of the U.S. Hearing some really strong things. I haven't heard the album yet. Big surprise, right? This came out on Prosthetic Records. I love the band photo on the inside, with the dudes in the cemetery. His drums set up at the cemetery. That was awesome. Yeah, I'm hearing really, really good things. Haven't heard a single note from it, but I'll get there. This next one, technically this came out this year, but it's a repress from like '88. And why they repressed this, I don't really know, but hey, why not, right? Metal Blade Records. It was originally, I think, on Roadrunner. We got King Diamond, The Dark Sides. It was a compilation from, like I said, like 1988. Just 6 tracks. It was stuff at the time that was not on too many King Diamond albums. At this point, I think there's only like one song on here that does not appear anywhere else. The Lake. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think The Lake is on any other compilation of any sort. But other than that, it's got Halloween, Them, No Presents for Christmas, The Shrine, and The Phone Call, in addition to The Lake. And it's pretty cool. It's just like a mini version of the... originally came out on vinyl, so... It's got kind of... The King Diamond re-releases come this way, like a kind of imitation vinyl looking thing. It's kind of cool. And it's King Diamond, man. I'll buy anything King puts out. I'm fucking stupid like that. Oh yeah, another 2020 release. Haven't listened to it yet. I have heard the one single from it, and I was really, really impressed. We have the new EP by Carcass, Despicable. Came out on Nuclear Blast Records. This thing was only like $6. It's like EP price like from back in the 90s. That's how much they used to charge for EPs back then. Nowadays, you know, they're usually $9 or $10. So I thought this was cool on the inside. The cover art, not very good. I think that's pretty lame, but the art on the CD itself is awesome. Got the old Carcass logo right there. This looks like old Carcass. That should have been the cover. But then it would have been maybe a little misleading. You would have expected more old-sounding Carcass. And like I said, I've only heard the single, which is The Living Dead at the Manchester Morgue. And I was really impressed. I mean, it sounds along the lines of, like, it could have been on Surgical Steel, or maybe even Heartwork, but I think stronger than most of the songs on Surgical Steel. And I thought Surgical Steel was pretty good. And I am a Heartwork fan, but it's just a really strong song. If the other 3 songs are half as good, you know, it'll be a success of an EP. So, random buy right here. A prog band from 2012 put out on Lee Dorian's Rise Above Records. Rise Above, in partnership with Metal Blade. We have Astra with the Black Chord. Slipcase. I don't remember where they're from, but this is like an old sounding prog album. It's pretty good. If you like 70s prog, you know, modern band, but, you know, playing that 70s prog sound and doing it really well. It sounds like it came, you know, like this came out in the 70s. Yeah, which is a good thing. You guys probably know that I'm a pretty big fan of this band. I've had a burnt CD for like 15 years. So I'm glad to finally have an official version of the second Tiger Army album, Power of Moonlight. Released on Hellcat Records back in 2001. Very cool. Love this band. Need their first album now. Bought this from my buddy Andy, and I'm glad he hooked me up with this because though this wouldn't be my version that I prefer because it's a promo. I prefer, you know, the full version, but it's hard to come by, at least for a decent price. You have out of Sweden Luciferion with Demonification, the Manifest. I don't know. Not the coolest looking logo. This came out on Osmos Productions and Listenable Records. So yeah, death metal band out of Sweden, mid '90s. Does not sound anything like your typical Swedish death metal. This is more Morbid Angel sounding. This is more, Floridian. Really, really good stuff. You like, Morbid Angel or even Deicide, or, a lot of Floridian, 90s death metal. Check out check out Luciferion. They had 2 albums. I never did hear their second one, but always thought this one was really good, and I'm glad to finally have at least some sort of physical version. Not the version I prefer, but at least, that'll do for now. This is a band you've heard me talk about over the last couple of years, and I just really only got into them over, the last 5 years or less, I think. This is the only 70s album of theirs, I think, that I didn't have. We got Mirrors from Blue Oyster Cult, 1979. I've always heard this is not a bad album, but not one of their best. Strong enough to own. I know fans do like it, but it's not usually one of their favorites. But, maybe I'll like it. You never know. All 70s Blue Oyster Cult is phenomenal, so I couldn't imagine it being real bad. And yeah, so these next 2 albums came out in 2018 because this guy puts out like 4 full lengths every year. Remember how a lot of the solo black metal bands would do that in like the early 2000s? They would just like crank out like 5 albums per year. Because I guess it's pretty easy when you work by yourself and you do everything. You don't have any other humans to rely on. It's just you. But yeah, even still, be that as it may, I wish you shouldn't put out multiple full lengths in one year. I think that's just kind of overwhelming for fans. I'm not a big fan of this guy, but I do have a couple of his albums, and I do enjoy it. We got Italy's Vardan, Vardan, solo black metal, depressive. It's got that old school, like early 2000s depressive sound down to a T. Most of his stuff, not all of it, but a lot of it's came out on Moribund Records. So we have Unholy Lightless Summer, like I said, 2018. Moribund Records, if you like depressive black metal, bleak depressive black metal, in the vein of a lot of those early 2000s guys, this is definitely worth a listen. And then I have another album that he put out that same year called Nostalgia Archive of Failures Part 6. I want to say he put them all out in one year. I think he put out like 7 or 8 albums in 2018, which, like I said, I think is excessive. Stop doing that, but whatever. I mean, it's your project, I can't tell you what to do. Vardan, let me know what you think. And next we have an album I wasn't necessarily planning on getting, but I kind of wanted it. I listened to it online. I thought it was pretty good. I do have some of this band's work. I've never been a massive fan, but I've always thought they were good at what they do. So we have 2018's Savagery by Skinless, Relapse Records. I heard a lot of like the diehard Skinless fans saying they just kind of thought this album was okay. I thought it was pretty good, but I'm not a massive Skinless guy, but I really enjoyed it. Yeah, Skinless, just kind of old school New York brutal death metal sound. These guys weren't super early. I think they came out in like the mid, even pushing late 90s, more mid 90s, I think. So they weren't super early like Suffocation and stuff like that. And sound wise, they kind of sound, they fit in with that like Pyrexia, Suffocation, Internal Bleeding sound. Not nearly as technical as Suffocation, not as knuckle dragging as like early Internal Bleeding, but kind of right in between the two. And it's good stuff. I guess I'll move on to the 7 inches. We'll save the movies for last. Got a couple cool 7 inches I was really, really stoked to get. This one I've been wanting for a long time. I don't know why it took me this long to get, but it is the debut release by, I'm wearing the shirt right now, from this band, Hackabits, out of Mexico. This is their self-titled EP from Osmos Productions. I can't remember what year this son of a bitch came out, but I don't know, at least 15 years ago. Man, this thing was in perfect shape too. For it being so old, I mean, it's flawless. Corners, none of the corners are bent remotely. I don't know how the dude kept this in the shape that it's in, but it's not going to be in that shape much longer, probably. Now that it's in my hands. Yeah, sorry, I can't find a year, but there's like, what, I think there's 3 or 4 tracks. I don't hear a lot of people talking about Hackabits. I love them, man. I've always loved them. They started off more death metal sounding, more kind of a Morbid Angel, even a little bit of Angel Corpse. And every time they'd put out a release, they'd kind of start leaning more and more towards black metal, to the point where they kind of became just solely black metal. They kind of got rid of all the death metal elements, which is where they're at now. But this is, like I said, this is their first album. This is more straightforward death metal, maybe some black metal hints in there. But yeah, if you like Angel Corpse and early Morbid Angel, look into some of the early stuff by Hackabits. They're one of my favorite bands out of Mexico. And I'm also a massive Greek black metal fan, so I picked up this kind of one of the more obscure bands out of Greece. You know, they don't have the following of, you know, Rotting Christ and Necromantia. We have Warfallac. They have been active since the 90s. This is Daemonium Magister. 2-man black metal. This came out in, I think, 2004. Danza Hypnotica Records. Absolutely not familiar with that label, but hey, you learn something every day, right? Strong Greek black metal, raw, and very much in that Greek sound. They don't sound, you know, like Rotting Christ clones, but you can definitely, you know, you're definitely getting some Greek flavors in there, which you want that, you know, you want that. Yeah. If you like Greek black metal and you haven't dug real deep, you know, let's say past, you know, Necromantia and Verathron, Rotting Christ, you know, look into Warfallac. And last but not least, I got a couple DVDs. This one right here was a nice, surprising find. I recognize the name because it's an H.P. Lovecraft story, so I assume it's based off that. We have Lurking Fear. Full Moon Productions. I don't know why it says Volume 2. I guess they put out an anthology of some sort. I believe this is just a standalone movie. Anyways, yeah, like I said, I saw the Lovecraft. You know, I knew the Lovecraft reference, and of course I snagged it. It coming out on Full Moon, you know, Full Moon features. You know, I'll buy most stuff they put out. Not that everything they do is great. A lot of it's not great, but it's always good fun. Then I picked this up. I have this movie, but I liked this version a little better. All it really is a slipcase. Mine doesn't have the slipcase, but I just thought this was nicer. And it was a couple bucks, so I grabbed it. We have Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon. Really cool slipcover. I showed this, probably like a year ago. It's just a really good movie. I mean, it's more or less a B movie. It's horror, but it's like a found footage movie about these people doing a documentary, and they're doing the documentary based on a serial killer who, like, is a serial killer who is influenced by, like, Jason Voorhees and Michael Myers and stuff. And so he's like, those are his heroes, and he aspires to be like them, and for some reason he hasn't been caught. I think as the story goes, like, he was almost like a Michael Myers story. Like, he killed someone when he was a kid, and he was in prison for a while. but he got out and he, continued to kill more people, and he's like in his late 20s. It's a fun movie. Check it out. And last but not least, I've just been really wanting to rewatch this, at least the first one. I'm pretty sure I saw the second one back in the day. I don't even know if I knew about there being a third one, but we got the Robocop Trilogy. Fuck yeah, Robocop 1, Robocop 2, Robocop 3. Like I said, I always loved the first one, man, growing up. One of my all-time favorite movies. Pretty sure I've seen the second one. And like I said, I don't even know if I'm aware that there was a third one. So, yeah. I've heard that Peter Weller is not in this, so you don't even get Peter Weller as Robocop, which is kind of lame, but story by Frank Miller. Holy shit. I imagine that's Frank Miller of, comic book lore. But I don't know. Looks like he didn't work on the first one. But it looks like he worked on the second one and the third. So if it's the Frank Miller I think it is, that's amazing. I did not know. Anyways, that is all I got. What do you guys think? What do you think about the Ruin stuff? If you want any of that Ruin stuff, place your order soon, because I know it's going fast. Some of it's already sold out, especially the t-shirts and stuff. So go place your Ruin order, and let's talk. Hope you guys are having a good weekend, and cheers. Talk soon. Louis says hello.